watch the series on its original streaming platform so it doesn't get cancelled. It gets picked up again.
Okay, you're close enough.
Oh, it's the scene, it's fucking awesome.
It's so hype.
Especially since they managed to like turn it around without making you dizzy.
Ooh, I was this one. I saw the animatic.
It's basically just animation already.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is 2D!
It looks so good and it's so much shit is happening at the same time.
I adore their powers.
Holy shit. What kind of visual library do you have to board this?
I wish I knew.
That is so fun.
Impact frame!
I love the impact frame.
Yeah, I gotta check out that impact frame afterwards.
Cowabunga!
Cowabunga, dude.
I love the cheesy one-liners. It's the best.
The thing that's really fascinating to me about the Ninja Turtles is that it's so colorful, but it works.
Like I think the teleportation is my favorite.
No, the designs in Rise are peak. They're so good.
Like, that's crazy, like the power imbalance that creates of like just a flick against everything they had.
Oh wow.
Wow, that was so
So
short.
short!
There you go, that's what I saw.
Yeah, no, I saw this before. I saw the movie scene and I was just freaking blown away. Like,
Like, this is just
holy
rough
crap.
animation.
But look at this!
Insane.
Imagine being able to do this kind of stuff. I mean, this isn't even animatic anymore, right? This is like animation, come on.
It's the rough.
I mean, rough in the sense of the outlines, not in the movement. It's in the cleanup stage.
it's not final.
All the missiles, imagine keeping track of all of that. The speed and the
Yeah.
turning and everything in the air.
As the audience, you never get confused of what's happening.
The fact that it's so readable still, and like it doesn't lose its readability with color.
Mikey throws a building.
This is a bit less readable because you don't have all of the colors, but still.
I mean, this is basically just the keyframes for the other shot that we already saw.
I love that the impact frame is the armor's face.
Holy
But it's so
shit.
cool, and they just explode a car. I wish that was kept in.
Oh,
It's so
that is
anime inspired. I
cool.
love it.
Yeah,
Do you know
no
how
kidding.
sick this would be in your portfolio? It's like,
That would get you hired immediately.
It's also crazy how much the camera shakes.
Gives it like a handheld look.
Yeah, and I love how they like combine their powers. It's like, whoa.
I'm such a
so
big
cool.
sucker for impact frames.
Yeah, and like the cube things, like when the ground breaks apart.
to be fair, I heard that they didn't have a massive budget.
The animation in the show is fantastic, but it's not always like this.
Yeah, no,
Like,
they put the budget
limited,
where it matters.
but like it works because also some of the limited animation they use in like a humorous sense, and it works.
Donnie adjusting the things so they fly around. That's just so cool. That's so dope.
Like I'm actually speechless.
I imagine being this skilled, man, in 1,000 years maybe.
Also the way they like work with quickness, like there was like a slow moment in between all this fast-paced action.
Yeah, and like it's so clear. Like you have a few lines, you have a colors to indicate which character is which.
Daddy, no.
Holy shit.
That's so
No,
good.
the boys. So yeah.
I just watched the scene from Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was released August 5th, 2022 on Netflix and was animated by Flying Bark Production, an Australian-based 2D, 3D studio.
Rimlight Pog.
Rimlight very pog.
Rimlight in complementary color, or more or less complementary color Pog.
Yes.
Makes the character pop out.
I love how they work with blur here. Like the camera is like trying to adjust to where they are because they're flying around.
If you had a constantly moving in the same speed background, that would make me way more dizzy than what they did here, which is where it like stops at like certain impacts of the character.
Everything is turning. Wee. I mean, the characters are always in the middle. They never go further than this.
Your eye doesn't have to like wander all over the place.
And then when it turns, it still frames the characters with a lot of negative space.
You don't really see every individual action, but you see enough and you know the colors of the characters enough that you know what's going on.
Buildings in the sky.
Wait, though, chain? That's so cool.
It's like a chain, right? But it like almost distorts because of how energy it becomes.
From here, it just goes from whoop,
Yeah. I mean,
And then it's like anime speed lines. You have enough frames to know that it's chains. That at some point it doesn't matter what they look like. It's all about the movement. I thought it was 2 chains, but it's just to have like this vibrating movement.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love how the background is just an image basically of darkness.
You still kind of know where the horizon is because of it. And the colors help a lot to keep track of like, okay, up is where it's like brighter, down is where it's darker.
They keep like spinning within this space. And there's nothing else going on besides the background changing colors. But the rim light though, that's one thing I love about rim light. They do the same thing in live action. It's like, would there realistically be a rim light here?
Yeah.
No, but the silhouette is more visible, so who cares?
It's just so cool. Like you have the anticipation. It's like a baseball player, like with the leg forward, right? And that's really nice line of action.
In similar reactions where we react to anime, we talk a lot about how the character remains still for a long amount of time in a very similar pose, so that afterwards you can have these very fast moving frames.
Building up that strength and then pow!
And it's his face that comes out. That's the impact frame. It's so cool.
This face coming out.
That's so good.
So good.
I love Donnie's character design. I love that he has eyebrows. It makes me so happy.
Wait, nobody else has eyebrows.
He draws them on. And like also Donnie, he's like rectangle. So like all his mocks are rectangles.
You know, one thing I really appreciate of their design of the characters is that they're super angular and like boxy and shapy, but they move super flowy. Because you sometimes associate that kind of style of animation to Flash animations.
These are so smart because they make it so intense. They're so far away that it doesn't look like they're crossing a lot of distance, but this helps us understand that they're actually going really fast.
The animatic is also extended. There's a few more things that were cut.
Such a shame that not everything made it into the movie. But then again, like, it's incredible.
I love the rough effects. They're so shapy and gummy. They're so like, it looks like they have character of their own.
I just really like the framing. It gives us the impression that we're falling through the debris, and it puts us more in the scene than if they were just in wide air.
They're so far away, but we still feel very close to them.
The camera movement is insane. It's like Winx Club, man. I feel it.
This is absolutely insane. This, like the skating on the building as things explode is just...
And like the legs going closer to the camera and farther away.
Everything.
CG, isn't it?
I would
it makes
hope
sense.
so.
Yeah, holy shit.
Jesus.
It looks like the hallway here, like that is 3D, but I think the foreground elements might be like a 2D plane.
If it was 3D, wouldn't this be straight?
Maybe
I
they
don't know,
traced over it.
Yeah, maybe.
The perspective feels very 3D, so maybe
Yeah.
they had like an underlying model and then went over.
You know, it's like how giants move very slowly.
Like the bigger something is, one way to like make it seem even larger is to slow down the movement.
That Raph is like moving so slow with his arm because he's so big. But then when he does impact, like it's deserving of an impact frame because it's so like bam.
Wait, they changed the character.
Oh yeah, no, that's Leo.
Yeah.
Oh, it was supposed to be Leo? They changed that. Yeah, that's also something like I find it crazy how you can have this much figured out and then you're forced to cut stuff out. You make it work afterwards, that it doesn't feel like there's something missing.
He uses the hands of his friend.
And
So-
like the portals are his and
Yes.
Utapon cubes. It's
What are those?
It's like a dynamic way to draw debris that looks very stylized.
This is also really nice. Appear, and then elongate very slightly. You know how we learned how to do a run cycle on 4s? This is one leg, one leg, one leg, one leg. It's just
Again, really intense foreshortening and just really nice line of action everywhere.
But you know, it's so hard to choreograph like several characters fighting one person at the same time.
Yeah, it's like the Star Wars moment when they twirl around a bit in the background to make it look like this movement. That, like how broken this is to give the, like also the leg back here to give this pose like the oomph that it needs to have. And like look how tiny this hand and how huge this hand, like intense, but it really makes it feel like, wow, he is right on top of us. He doesn't even impact the ground. Just his quick arrival is enough to break the building.
watch the series, watch the movie, please. You're doing yourself a favor.
watch the series on its original streaming platform so it doesn't get cancelled.
It got canceled.
It gets picked up again.
Anyway,
Yes.
thank you for reacting.
Yes. No problem.